going on YouTube? Today I will be fixing the rear sag in my 1997 4Runner. I went ahead and picked up some Moog springs. Actually got them from Amazon. They were about $2 cheaper on Amazon than Rock Auto, so gotta save money where you can. If you're new to the project, this is my 1997 4Runner. I have the 5-speed manual and the locking rear differential, so pretty rare spec, and I am trying to do this thing right, one piece at a time. In the previous episode, I actually replaced the aftermarket singled-in Alpine head unit with a new CarPlay, new front and rear speakers, as well as a new trim piece for the door. So if you care to watch that, you can find that on my channel. If not, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, without further ado, I've got family coming in about 2 hours, which, as most of you know, is the best time to start a massive project like this. And I say massive, it really shouldn't be too hard. I've actually done this before in a newer 4Runner that didn't have a rear sway bar. So I'm imagining that's going to be the only difference. Now, I'm sure there are several tutorials on how to do this on YouTube that could definitely explain it better than I could. Essentially, we're gonna start by removing the tires and jacking up the car by the pumpkin there on the diff. And then we'll put 2 jacks on either frame rail, disconnect the shocks and the sway bar, and then release the jack that's holding out the pumpkin to let down the diff, and that way we can access the springs and replace them. Screwed up. I don't know if you noticed that at the end of the time lapse there, but yeah. I mean, it's on there still, but it slipped off the pumpkin. It looks like the pumpkin is a little bit angled. So I have these jacks that I was lowering the car down onto. I don't know at this point if I should keep lowering. I think that's what I have to do. Sheesh. All right, I was too nervous to keep videoing, but you can see we're still good on there. I'm on the jacks now on both sides. My only concern is that this is not going to be enough room to flex the suspension and get the spring down. Well, I guess I have more concerns than that, but. Okay, so it's been a while. I was a little too nervous to continue filming with the whole jack situation, but everything is looking fine now. I've gotten the shock disconnected, sway bar disconnected on both sides. And my jack setup is still a bit precarious, but I'm remembering that this is how I did it last time as well, and it was all right. So I've got the pumpkin, or I guess the diff, dropped all the way down. And now I'm jacking up this side at the wheel hub in order to compress the spring, flex the axle, and get this spring to drop down enough for me to grab it and replace it. So I've got the passenger side spring out now. I'm still kind of nervous about this jack situation, but I'm glad I was able to get that out. So for comparison, you can see already that the old one is sitting about probably ½ an inch lower than the new one. Compressed that pretty easily. I have a harder time with this one, so this one's definitely worn out. Let's go ahead and get this one back in so I can clean up this nasty situation here. Well, that might be one of the hardest things I've done, is get this spring back in there. I mean, that's how you know the last one was pretty worn out. This one was impossible to get in. And I've got to do it again on the other side. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room here. Luckily, I'm still joining you with all 4 wheels on the ground. But yes, that could have ended up much, much worse. I was not aware of how much it was flexing side to side until watching that video back. I did decide it was too dangerous to keep going with the current jack situation that I had. And my family actually did pull up like right at the end of that 3 months. I just spent so much time on the jack situation and trying to make sure everything was safe that I completely lost track of it and only ended up getting one side done. So I've been driving around the past 3 days with one new spring on this side and the old one on this side. It's about 7:30, don't have much light left, but I've gone and picked up a set of jack stands on Facebook Marketplace, and hopefully I'll be able to get this done safely and efficiently before the sun completely sets. All right, and there we have it. Took me a good bit less than an hour, so I'm pretty happy with that. Since I kind of already knew what I was doing and I had the new jack set up, it was so incredibly easy, especially using that scissor jack there for the diff. I was able to get it a lot lower, and therefore I didn't have to work as hard to compress the spring on the other side. So getting the spring in and out on this side was much, much easier. I don't know if I'll end the video here or not. Obviously this was probably a shorter one, but the content definitely packed a punch. So if you enjoyed the video or if you think I'm an idiot, feel free to leave a comment. Honestly, if anything, I hope people can learn from my mistakes. Obviously, lesson number 1, don't use the scissor jack from an old Jeep on the trailer hitch to try and balance the entire car. Not a good idea. I think that should have been obvious to me, but I was kind of lost in the sauce, so to speak. But I'm not afraid to show myself failing on the internet. I think it's good to keep myself humble and at least be an example for other people. I feel like a Minecraft YouTuber right now because, as you can see, I've done some work off camera. I think I was filming that process towards the end of August, and it is now early November, as you can see by the lovely fall foliage. And my wheels have changed. My wheels and tires have changed. I'm hoping this also serves as a kind of after shot for the rear sagging I had going on, and obviously I fixed that in this video. It didn't make as much of a difference as you might think, but it definitely looks evened out now, which I'm happy with. So yes, I went on Facebook Marketplace and got myself a set of new wheels and tires. Not only were they the wheels that I really wanted, but they came with these really nice and new BF Goodrich KO2, and I got them at a really good price. So, and you can see the offset is much less offset than it used to be, which I also don't mind. So beyond that, I actually haven't done too much the past 2 months. Been actively saving up to purchase a new timing belt kit and new radiator. See, this one has turned not so nice shade of brown and is beginning to crack, so it's only a matter of time. That being said, I think that will be the next episode, and I've never done any engine work in my entire life. If you'd like to follow along, stay tuned. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one. If you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned. Thank you.